Hello there. So yeah, today was actually a really good day. Um, I'm getting back to um, waking up more earlier because the last couple of days I've been really waking up very late. I mean, for me at least, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. It's it's late. I was used to work. Yeah, yeah. Well, now that I mentioned that. Um, when I worked in the night five, I was waking waking up at 6 a.m. 6:30. Well, crazy time, crazy period. But yeah, I'm almost finishing the book. Never split the difference, and like, oh, fuck, really great book. I heard something. I read the part where it's like how to catch a liar, in the spot, and like he used the analogy of Pinocchio, the ah it's the shit. How do I say that? The fucking toy. Like when he say a lie, he knows grows, right? And it's not that different in real life because this is really true. Like he mentioned, a study that was made in Harvard where they analyze and observe people when they're going through a lie, like they're telling a lie, and most of the time they end up like speaking way more than they usually do. So like they speak more, like instead of just saying the the thing like very concise, they because they have to put a lot of work to sound believable. I mean, if you're being truthful, like you don't have a lot of pressure on you, unless like the truth, because there's certain circumstances where the truth is really hard to believe, but it's the truth, you know. But like besides that, like if if you're being true, like you're just gonna say it. Like there's body language and there were other aspects, yeah, especially the body language. Um, but yeah, and really really cool. So and I built my grab, no, it's my brag book. So for you that don't know about that, I didn't know about that until I think yesterday. But basically, it's basically a portfolio, but you put more focus on like your achievements, and it's basically a portfolio, but more, instead of you just like show your like the work you have done in the past, like you show like the achievements, the big things. And like I in my notebook is really old and weak. It's really old, man. And it took a lot of time, but once like, it really, I mean, i started I started 3 3 p.m. and then yeah, yeah, I finished reading, and then I watched some videos. I had lunch, and then like I got back like 3 p.m., right? I finished, I think was 7:30 p.m. Like really, and I really like it. I mean, I was in the flow. I mean, for the first time in a while, I was in a flow doing a work related activity. No, because still I will use that to, because it's a component of the strategy to do the outreach, because to get the offers. Because I mean, if you're gonna be a SDR, makes sense for you to prospect your offers, right? And I really like it. I really like doing that. I was so focused. I was just completely focused on doing that. and I like it. No, after I finished, I was just like, you know, observing the 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 whole book. You know, it's like 7 pages. Like I use a template, but it's still like my laptop, my notebook is very slow. But once I finish, I was like, shit, man, I really like it. Damn, I really like that. I'm like, that was like I like doing that. I like doing that. I really like it. And I'm starting to sing, you know. I don't know if I don't know, but I'm starting to notice that I'm getting more calmer now because of like the funny thing is that I'm not even doing the proper, formal uh activities and exercises of meditation, but uh just remembering the things that Sam Harris said during the podcast, like the framework, the overall idea that that has been like that has been really helping me because there's sometimes, like for example, when I was building the brag book, some intrusive thoughts, intrusive thoughts. No, thinking about, oh, remember that girl, remember that shit that happened? No, and and then I'm like, oh, like if it was back, like if it was like 1 year ago, like I would, go like, um, what's the word? Uh, the the heel? No, it's not the heel. Drill. But I would just like I would go south, completely crazy, and just rattled, and I'll go into the rabbit hole and like start thinking about like, oh, why she said that, why that happened, why didn't I act differently? But now, of course, it's been a while since that happened, but now I just say, oh, there's a thought. It's not like, oh, like, I did that, like what? No, it's not like I'm seeing this as a thought, not as me. Like I'm feeling like, oh, okay. It's like I'm in the third person. Oh, so he is me thinking about that thing that happened. Okay, that's okay. No, because it's not work. Like I know this consciously, and like now I'm starting to internalize that. That's the important part. It doesn't make sense because already happened, and I can do nothing about it. So why, But we still think. I can, I can say I said we because I mean that happens with you. Like you think about things that you don't want to think about, and why is that? There's one thing that I heard like don't think about a polar bear, for example, and then we think about a polar bear, and like I was like very curious, but like especially now because I start thinking about that, and it can be anything like don't think about yellow elephant. And then, but why is that? Why? Like, if I say this, I'm consciously, you know, inducing me to have certain thoughts, right? Like I'm controlling my thoughts per se. Even though like I could set anything, but I choose like a polar bear. I choose a yellow elephant. I could choose anything, but that's other thing. But we have this kind of control, right? So why when we think about the other like things we don't want to think about or like why did I said that? Why did that happen? Like what's gonna happen tomorrow? Like will I go well in the during the interview? Like shit, how is gonna end up the conversation with my wife? Like we have this type of thoughts and then we can't control that, but we can control this thing of the the Oh, we can control this part of inducing ourselves to have a certain thought, right? So why we can't just not think about the the things that we're thinking about and it's making us feel, bad and sad and angry. So why is that, And I think maybe maybe because it's not we're not identified with that. Because it's something completely arbitrary, a yellow elephant. Like there is no, like we're not attached to it. There's no nothing. I mean, it's just something random. So I think it's more easy, you know, to manage that. Because you have no preconceptions about it. So you can like maneuver that. But when it's like, for example, for example, you argue with your girlfriend, or like you had an argument with your mom, whatever. Like you're attached to it because like you did that, and I mean that happened, like, and you were there, and so why, like, you're thinking about you, like yeah, okay, but in the moment, okay, but after that already occurred, I mean, it's just thought. There's no nothing. I mean, you're not there, but like in our mind, it's like some kind of live a dream, because we start feeling like, oh shit, and we start hallucinating, like, oh no, but and you start getting anxious and angry and sad, but there's nothing there, like nothing is happening. Like it's not like there's a fucking lion in front of you trying to kill you. No, nothing's happening. But you start getting anxious, and and like it's real. Like for you, it's real. Like that anxiety, the sadness, the feeling of whatever it might be, is real. But why? I mean, you could control that. That's the thing of like not thinking about something, and like you're thinking about that something. But why can't you just think about a polar bear or whatever? No, I'll think about other things. Why we can't do that? And I believe, like in my very humble and superficial understanding, since like I'm just entering this world of meditation, I think it's because we're identified with that, and I'm noticing that. No, because I have a tendency to get angry very easily, But now I look at this like, shit, man, why? Why? Like, and it's funny, It's really funny, in a sense. For example, I follow this guy on Facebook, and I mean, yeah, he's all like I said, I'm fed up with people of the high ticket space. Most of them are self-absorbed and whatever. And he said, because hypnosis is useless and it is something of gay people. Like, I get, like, it's a rage bait, or maybe he really thinks that. Like, that irritates me. But then I step back and like, it's not worth it. And then today, like, I really had a good session of training, and like I just realized that I'm getting back, in shape, and that's really cool. Um, and no, I could say that this guy is the reason why I'm doing this. Like these videos. Um, I think it's Dry Winger School, something like that. I'm probably saying the name of the channel wrong, but it's Dwayne. Dwayne. He's uh, an old man, like, and I think he trained horses, something like that, and like, but he does these videos where there's a topic, and then he talks about this topic based on his experience of life and like his perception, and like he's a really wise man because he has a lot of experience, and he has gone through a lot of things, so he knows, like based on his experience, like he has a lot of great insights. And that was the whole reason, because I was like, shit, man, it's so cool because he's just chilling, and talking, and there's no like fancy editing, no nothing. It's just it's pure knowledge. It's pure like reality there. Like he's not trying to portray an image. He's just being real, and like that is so comfortable to watch. I was like, I want to do that, and I was always waiting. Oh no, because I gotta do that. Like now I'm doing it, and I'm really like that. Like he was like the main. I can say that he was the main inspiration for me to record this type of videos, more simple videos, just saying things about what I think about whatever. And I already watched this video in the past, but and it was about loneliness and how things are right now. And I mean, in a nutshell, um, and like I can relate that to this friend of mine because this is something that is really occurring. Like I mentioned this a couple of times that I feel lonely, you know. But I'm getting used to that, and like right now, I think I'm getting more more in peace with myself. Um, he used this analogy. For example, would you have a drink with yourself? I mean, think about like what do you say to yourself daily? When you do something wrong, or you know, like uh, when you don't reach, you don't hit your own standards. Like how do you treat yourself? What do you say to yourself? Like do you build yourself up? Like you're useless, you're a piece of shit, you're stupid, or do you encourage yourself to oh that's okay. I mean of course next time you do this. And most of the people they're not comfortable with themselves, so they need someone. They need something, whatever it might be. It might be like scrolling TikTok. It might be being in a relationship where the person treats you like shit. And this is not only about men and like women. Like this is something that he touched that I really agree. Especially with now this thing of feminism, and I understand why guys, especially guys my age, they get so angry. And most of the guys, they never had a girlfriend or something like that. And then because they don't have that, they start, cursing out the women, they're sluts and things like that. Because that's just anger, insecurity. And like I know that because I had this type of thoughts, but now now that I can see more clearly, more calmer, like without the emotions, I see that it's not worth it, and like it's dangerous. It's really dangerous because and he mentions that like there's a fucking what's the name of this? Seesaw. It's not a seesaw. It's other thing. A pendulum. A pendulum. Like whatever like it happens. For example, let's give a historical example. The the thing that happened in France, I think was in 17, uh, 1700. The revolution, right? The the people that like were rich back then, I think it's burgundy. I don't know how to say that in English. But the rich people they had a lot of power, so like, and they were just oppressing the poor people, the peasants. And then we know what happened, right? A lot of guys were killed, And then yeah, like they stayed in power for a lot of, like, I don't know, a couple of centuries, like a lot of time, but eventually that syncs up, and like now syncs back, like it's always like that. So all this, like, because for example women, you know of course, um, they were oppressed, you know for a lot of time, like throughout the whole his- history of humanity, right? And like the same thing, the same concept, always like the pendulum was swinging one way, and like now in internet and like all of that thing, and there was like women, they couldn't vote, like there's a lot of things that, like, yeah, but after like a certain period it started becoming not more about equality, it's more about supremacy, right? And then they start like becoming the oppressors, and like now I believe we're in a moment where it's gonna be like the other swing, right? Because man, they're getting angry, and uh, some guys, they just say shit on the internet, and like in real life they're pussies, but there's other guys that are crazy, and like they are violent, and you know even though like it might be like it hurts and things like that, there's a lot of people that like are no use, are no good, and that is not about gender. It's about just human beings in general. But it's not because like a couple of people are like really piece of shit and like dickheads that other people should pay the price, you know. And like I really believe it's gonna, like, this swing back is gonna, like, man, they will swing back, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be ugly. But the advice that he gave in the video, and I mean, shit, when he said, like, even though it's so simple, you can just leave, right? He said, if you don't like your town, like a lot of violence, you can just leave. And then he said, I never saw a town with like a gigantic wall that couldn't be, um, that it was just like locked and I couldn't leave. There was never such a thing, a wall that can be passed. There's no such a thing. You can just leave. Of course, there's the logistics, the money, but most of the times you can. No, you can leave. Like, if you really put that into your mind, you can leave. You know. And he said, like, be a man, and let the world rage around you. Just ignore it. There's no use, because it's the same concept. Like, yeah, yeah, there's bad women. Yeah, there's women that are disingenuous. There's women that are not trustworthy. There are women that are mean. Yeah, and also there's men that are not trustworthy, are violent, are stupid. You know, are not reliable. Yeah, that's true. Both sides. But also there's men that are trustworthy, are reliable. There's women that are no caring and nurturing. It's hard to find, but they exist, you know. And if you just focus on this bad side, that is true, and it's not like denying it is true. If you just focus on that, you'll only see that. But like, I encourage you, like Emily, to try to look to the other side. There's still good things, And fuck, I'm changing. Damn, damn. And the funny thing though is that, like, the enlightenment is like in the most, like, mundane and silly shit of my day to day. For example, I was cutting. Oh shit, I don't know. Swa. I think it's swa. There's some swa. Um, I think it's swa. No. yeah, I would say like swath. I was just cutting, and then I put the fucking table. It's like the thing where you cut, right? I put two next to me, and then the swall, like a lot of it just fall off, and I was really pissed, you know, like oh, just fucking bitch. But that was for a split second. I'm like, oh shit, I'm pissed because of this shit that just, and then I was like, oh, and then I'm like, okay, you know. But that's like when you're conscious, like in this little moments, you know. And yeah, um, the enlightenment is in the little things, you know, on the day to day basis. And like when real shit happens, I mean, if you're calm, like there is no way, man. Like everything you will do in your life, if you're calmer and you're collected and you're not like you're rational, most of the time, like you will make a better decision if you're calmer, if you're present, if you're paying attention to it. So this is a like I really believe that this is maybe the most important skill that a human being can develop. Be aware of yourself. Be present because that will dictate everything. I mean, I just realized like even like other things. For example, vices, linguistic vices, like like um, just the fact that I'm you know saying more slow and being present and like thinking before I speak, that already cut my linguistic vices a lot just by being present. And for example, other thing, no, I no, I still have the tendency to mumble when I speak in English. But now that I'm just being present and like I'm not even thinking about the logistical part of it, like the how to. I'm just being present and like automatically is reflecting on other things of my life. For example, when I was doing the building the brag book, I was just focused on the present and yeah, the present. Like I entered the flow when I was training. I was just focused on the breathing and I entered the flow. It's not like I was like there like 100% of the time, but I mean, it's becoming very recurring. Enter the state of flow. So and that's because I'm just focusing on the present. So yeah, it's really a powerful um, skill. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm really changing. I believe in it's for the best. Fuck, man. And yeah, there's today I also I had a quick chat with this friend of mine about the AI agency. This is more something for next year, definitely. But yeah, he seems to be very excited about it, and that's good. That's good. But I'm not counting on him, and um, I'm more confident now that I have the brag book and like I really have things to show that I will get a better offer. And yeah, shit, man. I really, I think I'm really getting there. I'm getting somewhere, and I'm glad that I chose this path. So yeah, man, that's it. Take care.